What's good? This is Trey. Welcome to this presentation. Today I want to talk about how you can eliminate your fear of approaching women 100%. All right. I'm going to give you two steps. Two steps you got to take to get to this point where you no longer have this fear of approaching women. So the first step is this this goal of eliminating your fear of approaching women. It needs to become a priority. Okay, in order to truly get to a point where you no longer have this fear of approaching women, you actually have to focus on this and make this a goal, right? I no longer want to have a fear of approaching women. I no longer want to have approach anxiety. I no longer want to be nervous and shaking in my shoes when I'm talking to a woman. Like, it has to become a goal. So I made it a goal. Like, I just got tired of not being able to have a confident conversation with women. I got tired of seeing a woman that I find attractive and being too afraid to talk to her. I got tired of that shit. So I made it a goal that I want to overcome this fear of approaching women. So that's the first step. Now, the second step is, how do we eliminate the fear? Like, okay, I've set this goal. Now, how do I eliminate it? So you eliminate this fear by exposure therapy. The reason you have this fear is because you haven't experienced the tension of approaching a woman enough times to the point where you're desensitized to it. Now, if you just throw yourself into approaching women, you're going to overwhelm yourself. That's too much tension. That's too much fear to just deal with all at once. And so what you want to do is you want to gradually work your way up to that tension level. So what do I mean? Instead of just saying, okay, I want to overcome my fear of approaching women, so I'm just going to go out there and approach a ton of women. If you do that, you're setting yourself up for failure, because I tried doing that. And what happens is, the amount of tension and fear and anxiety that comes up when you actually go out to do this, it's overwhelming. It's too much. It's gonna basically, I would say, the best way to put it, the anxiety becomes crippling, right? To the point where you can't even, because I remember I used to walk around. I would go to a mall or wherever girls would be, and I would walk around for like hours not doing anything. Why? Because it was too much. I was overwhelming myself, putting too much pressure on myself. You know, oh, I got to approach a woman. So instead, what you want to do is you want to take these little steps, exposing yourself to small doses of tension that you can handle, and gradually building it up until you get to a point where approaching a woman is no longer this scary thing. It actually shifts, right? When you get to a point where you can handle the tension, it shifts. It's no longer fear. It becomes excitement, right? You get excited. You're like, wow, when you see a beautiful woman, you get excited because you know you can handle the tension. The reason it's fear is because you can't handle the tension, right? You're uncertain. You don't know if you're going to freeze up. You don't know if the girl is going to reject you. You don't know if she's gonna laugh at you. You don't know what's gonna happen. But when you consistently expose yourself to the fear, or expose yourself to the tension or the situation, you start to desensitize. You start to get comfortable with it. It becomes normalized. And now what used to be a fear is now part of your comfort zone, right? So essentially what you need to do here is, first, set this goal. It needs to become a priority. This can't be something that you just wish and hope, hopefully one day I'll be able to approach a woman. No, it has to become a goal that you set. Okay, I want to overcome my fear of approaching women. And then you decide, okay, that's my goal. Now I need to take action on this, but I need to be intelligent about it. If you're not comfortable approaching women and you just throw yourself into it right away, it's gonna be too much, okay? Like, it's too much of a shock to your system. Your nervous system's not gonna be able to handle it if you haven't been doing it all your life, and then all of a sudden you're gonna start, doing this. And so this was an issue for me, and the way I went about it at first was I tried to go and approach women, but it was too much. It was too much tension, too much anxiety. I was sweating. No, it's just man, it's better to just work your way up. Start by saying hello to people. To people, not even worrying about women at first. Just get comfortable with saying hello to strangers. Get comfortable with asking for directions. Get comfortable with giving out compliments. Get comfortable with just expressing yourself in these little short interactions and experiencing the tension that comes with that and seeing how you feel. Get comfortable with it. Get grounded in it, right? And build on this consistently. It's not a one-day thing. This is a consistent thing you do. Because as I said, the first step is to set it as a goal, right? You're setting it as a goal because now it's something you're going to prioritize and work on. And the great thing about it is when you handle this fear, right? The confidence that you get from handling this fear, it goes into other areas of your life, right? Because basically what's happening here is you're developing your social skills, you're developing your courage, you're developing your groundedness, you're developing you're gonna start having these small accomplishments or hitting these small little milestones like, oh, okay, now I can say hello to people without getting uncomfortable or being awkward about it. Oh, now I can have a short little conversation. Oh, great. Now I, can do this and do that. And now I can approach a woman. And now I can actually look her in the eye without getting nervous. Oh, now I can actually, be present to the moment. Like you start hitting these little milestones and you build up your confidence. And this, once you feel confident with women and comfortable with women, all I know is it just makes you feel like more of a man, right? Because I had always had this belief that a man shouldn't really be afraid to approach a woman. I think that's kind of strange, right? But it's weird because it's like the norm. Like most guys are actually afraid to approach a woman. But when I think about that, I'm like, yo, that's kind of weird. Like, why should a man be afraid to approach a woman? Like, is she gonna like knock him out or something? Or is she gonna, choke him or slap him? That's not gonna happen, right? The worst that's gonna happen is she'll just say, no thank you, or I'm busy right now, or whatever. That's the worst that's gonna happen. So, but you need to expose yourself to these situations to train yourself to understand, yeah, nothing bad is gonna happen here. Like the worst that's gonna happen, she just says no, and it just ends right there. And what the best thing that can happen is you could meet a girl who you have a great connection with, who you could end up dating, who could end up becoming your girlfriend, So, it's just having this, it's just getting more realistic about this stuff. Like this high level of anxiety and fear and tension is just so unnecessary because it's like, for what, right? Like you should, if there's like a lion, in the environment, you should get nervous and anxious and scared, right? Or if there's a snake, but a woman, right? Like, why should I approach a woman and all of a sudden I'm sweating and I'm nervous and I'm choking up? And I'm not really trying to make a joke about this because I actually went through this, right? I actually, used to go out and approach women and I used to get nervous and I used to choke up and all type of weird shit used to happen. So I'm not trying to make fun of this shit, but I'm just saying, like, as a man, you want to make this, a goal because I'm telling you, you're going to become more confident. You're going to improve your social skills. Not only are you going to be able to approach women, but you're going to be able to approach strangers in general. You're going to be able to express yourself and communicate. And these are skills that you can use in other areas of your life, in business, in your career, with your family, So, appreciate it. So so eliminating the fear of approaching women, like I gave you 2 steps. So this is what I recommend. Set it as a goal. I want to eliminate this fear of approaching women. I want to be confident. I want to be able to approach women with confidence, or I want to be able to approach a woman while staying grounded in my masculinity. Like, put it in your words. I want to be able to approach women comfortably, or I want to be able to approach women like a boss, or whatever your words are, affirm that. You know what I mean? State it, write it down, okay? And make it a goal, make it a priority. And then just start taking these little small actions, right? Desensitizing yourself to you know, the tension and the anxiety that comes with approaching a woman you find attractive. Okay, and the more you do this, and the more you build it up gradually, so as I said, literally just start by saying hello to people. You know, when I started, you know, I used to say hello to old ladies and stuff like that, right? Just to get the ball rolling, because I used to be super shy, right? I used to be super shy, super introverted, right? So it took a lot for me to, you know, go out there and approach women that I find attractive. And so instead of overwhelming myself, especially if you don't have someone there with you, like I was going out by myself, right? So it's not like I had somebody there with me to encourage me to, you know, approach women or whatever. I had to muster up the courage myself, and it was just too much. So I had to start with these little small steps, just saying hello to old ladies, saying hello to old men, whatever, and building it up until you get to a point. Like now I can go out and I can approach anyone, no problem, right? But I started from where I was and worked my way up gradually, okay? So I don't have the fear of approaching women. Like, if I do experience fear, because there are some times, like, let's say I haven't been socializing, maybe I've been working on my business a lot, and so my system, you could say my system is used to kind of just being chill or whatever, not being in no no situation with social pressure or whatever. So then if I go in that situation, the fear might start to come up. But what I do is I make this shift and I remind myself, yo, this is just a human being, you know? I remind myself it's just a human being I'm about to talk to. I remind myself I've already done this before. I've already approached thousands of women. I remind myself because there's an emotion coming up. And so I don't identify with the emotion, especially if it's not making any sense. Like, oh, the emotion of fear is coming up when I'm about to go approach someone. It's like, yo, let me not identify with that. Let me check it with my intelligence first, right? And when I check it with my intelligence, it starts to shift. It goes from fear to excitement. Like, okay, this is the nerves is coming up, but I'm enjoying it. I'm like, okay, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be an interesting interaction, right? And it's fear when you resist it, right? That's really what that fear is. When your nervousness comes up and you start resisting it, to me, that's basically what fear is, right? It's like you're afraid of something because you can't handle it. But it becomes excitement when you know you can handle it. Like if you're going on a roller coaster, right? It's fearful if you feel like you can't handle the roller coaster. But if you feel like you can handle it, you know, it's excitement. So that's the shift, right? Like if you want to go from fear to a different emotion, right? Replace that emotion with excitement. But it's not like something you can just do overnight. You need to start exposing yourself to the fear so it becomes normalized. It becomes decent. You become desensitized to it. All right. So if you're a man watching this and you'd like to basically overcome this fear of approaching women, you like some more tips, some more advice on this topic, and you like the idea of becoming self-confident with women, even getting to the point of unbreakable confidence where you're completely grounded in your masculinity, you can approach a woman and have an amazing conversation with her, connect with her, end up dating her and taking it, you know, taking the relationship in the direction you want it to go. Check out the Unbreakable Beast Tribe. I'll drop a link to the group and I'll see you inside. Peace.